Hey, Dr. Karen Can here. Welcome to another edition of the Spiritual Medicine Digest. And as of this recording, we are going from summer to fall in the Northeast in North America. And this is when a lot of people start to get sick symptoms, meaning cold and flu symptoms. Why is that? Well, in Chinese medicine, they actually described this time as change of season. So, any time there's a change of season from summer to fall, fall to winter, winter to spring, spring to summer, there is a shift in the energy of the five elements. And when the shift occurs, people become susceptible potentially to getting sick. So, when I was in medical practice, a medical acupuncture practice, I had quite a few teachers in my practice. And if they did not come to see me for an acupuncture tune-up before they went back to school, inevitably within 3 weeks, they would be sick and coming to the office to get treated for being sick. So, why does this happen? Well, the lung and the large intestine are the meridians that are more dominant during this fall season. It is of the five Chinese elements, it is the metal element. And I have to say, I was one of them. Every fall I would get sick. And I didn't really think there was anything I could do about it. Now, I used to laugh at my scoff, really, at my mother, my grandmothers, who would say, put on a hat and scarf and dress warmly. And I would kind of talk back to them as a know-it-all teenager and tell them, well, that's just an old wives' tale because everyone knows that viruses cause colds, not cold weather. Boy, do I feel stupid now. Yeah. So in Chinese medicine, they talk about pernicious influences. And I know it sounds very voodoo woo-woo kind of stuff when you think about the languaging they used way back then because they didn't have microscopes, they didn't see microbes, things like that. But they knew something was penetrating into the energy fields of the body. They called those pernicious influences. And our environment and our weather do affect our bodies. So you can have pernicious influences like excess cold penetrating your meridians, your vessels. You can have a pernicious influence, excess wind, excess heat, excess summer heat, excess dry even, and excess damp. And depending on which of the elements is your dominant element, you will be more susceptible to one or the other. So I tend to be more susceptible to wind and damp. So I do not like, for example, when there's a fan on. Like if a fan hits the back of my neck in the past, I would be, starting to sneeze, starting to feel like I'm coming down with something. When I was in a very, very humid place like Singapore, I felt horrible. That was that excess damp during the summer months. I mean, it was like I couldn't do anything. I was like, okay, note to self, do never, ever, ever move here, 'Cause I was like completely unable to do anything. I felt so awful. So each of us has a balance point, and certain pernicious influences would influence us more. So when the change of season hits and these energies and these meridians start to shift, in the fall season, the lung and large intestine, like I said, are dominant. And the lung actually circulates what's called the Wei Qi. So the Wei Qi or Wei Qi field is sort of like your energetic immune system. And if this is not happy, or if it's weak because your lung qi is weak, or there's an imbalance between your lung intestine and large intestine meridians, etc., then you could quote unquote catch cold. So I'm not saying necessarily that viruses don't play a role, but there's some pretty compelling evidence that viruses, well, first of all, they're not alive. They need a human host to actually grow and proliferate. So they're not actually living things per se. And there's some really compelling evidence that, they may be parts of our own cells, exosomes. And, back in the day, Louis Pasteur and Antoine Beauchamp, were like kind of like competing with each other, if you will, between the germ theory and the terrain theory. The germ theory is germs cause disease. The terrain theory is your immune system and how well you are mentally, spiritually, physically, has to do with whether or not you get a disease. And the germ theory won out, and therefore we learned all of that in school, and I'm sure you did as well as I did. And we thought germs cause disease. But the new data really supports that, well, actually, if you give the same germ to everybody, not everybody gets sick. So it can't be just the germ, right? People have susceptibilities to things. Just like in Chinese medicine, they talk about the susceptibilities of the different meridians in your, constitutional, biases, if you will, like what things affect you more than others. So Antoine Beauchamp, at the end of the day, is really the winner here in this, between Pasteur and Beauchamp, the germ versus the terrain theory. The terrain theory actually is truer than the germ theory, but yet we all have been taught the germ theory, and to this day, as you can see, as of this recording date, that most people still believe in the germ theory. That being said, how do you protect yourself during this fall season? Well, one of the things you can do, and TOLPAKAN healing is very handy, and that's the healing methodology that I teach, is that you can actually ask specific questions about your Wei Qi field. So when you go into this place of alignment, so in the TOLPAKAN healing method, we talk about align, ask, and activate. So when you go into a place of alignment where you're connected to the 0 point, the stillness, if you will, God source, and we have a specific training for that, then you can ask quality questions. And one of the quality questions you can ask is, how happy and balanced is my Wei Qi field in this body and timeline right now? And get a percentage out of 100%. Now you want 100%, not 90, not 95, 100%. Okay, that Wei Qi field, we want 100%, and you can get that at 100%. Now, there's other parts of your immune system as well that you can check, and we teach that in one of our courses called Divine Design Training. But the Wei Qi field, I want you to really focus on this week because it's something that is a new concept for most people. They don't think about having an energetic immune system, but you do. So we're going to do a TOLPAKAN Healing Directive in a moment to help you fortify that Wei Qi field. And when that happens, then these pernicious influences have less of an influence on you. But like our grandmothers and mothers told us, actually you still need to take care of your body and dress appropriately and also eat appropriately, especially during the change of season, because our energies are a little bit more susceptible at that, that point of the change of season. So when it starts to get cool out, that means putting on a hood or a hat or, a scarf or a shawl. And if you happen to be more susceptible to wind, for example, you may have to protect your wind points, which is like the back of the neck and the back of your upper back. They're acupuncture points called, wind gates, wind points. So these are the points that I know to protect myself because I had that tendency to have more susceptibility to that wind and cold, in these points and in these areas. So you can ask how happy and balanced your Wei Qi field is. You can also ask how happy and balanced are all my 5 elements. So that's fire, earth, metal, water, and wood. And get a percentage at 100%. So these are ways in which you can ask these questions about your own health and well-being. The really cool thing is, even if you don't know how to muscle test, divine muscle test, and get those answers, you can still do the TOLPAKAN healing. You just won't necessarily be able to do a before and after. Like, what was it before? What was it after? I know if I start getting a little run down or, went outside and I got a blast of wind, didn't really expect it, that kind of thing. If I start feeling like a stiff neck, if I start feeling like, my Wei Qi field has been attacked by a pernicious influence, then I'll do a TOLPAKAN healing to release that particular influence. So I'm going to demonstrate that for you today as well, the TOLPAKAN healing. So you can release, excuse me, you can release the different, influences. You can fortify the Wei Qi field with TOLPAKAN healing. And if you do know the whole TOLPAKAN healing method, then you can check in before and after how happy these things are. You can rebalance all your 5 elements. And I did want to give you another tool or tip, which I have found very, very handy. So there are acupuncture points at the back of your neck. This is the one set of the wind points. It's easy to get to. So I'm going to just share with you these ones as opposed to the other ones down here, which are a little harder to get to. So at the back of your neck, it's gallbladder 20. So you can look that up on the internet, acupuncture point gallbladder 20. And it's below the bump on the back of your neck. And you'll see a little a dip at the very base of the occiput. There's like a little gap or hole that's gallbladder 20 on each side. And some people feel like when they get a headache, sometimes massaging this point is helpful. So this is a wind point, meaning that if you start getting a stiff neck, you start feeling a little sniffly, you feel like, uh-oh, I might come down with something, you want to stimulate these points as soon as possible, the minute you start feeling a little funky, okay? Because what I found is if you can stimulate them right away, it'll kind of kick out. Your Wei Qi field will just fortify and it'll just kick out whatever's trying to invade, if you will, whether that be cold or damp or wind or whatever that is. Okay, usually it's wind cold that goes into those channels. Now, the more efficacious way to actually stimulate these points is to actually put phototherapy patches on these points. So these are 2 of the phototherapy patches that I recommend for this. You don't have to use both, just choose one. So this is LifeWave's, which one is this? Okay, this is the Ice Wave. That's usually for pain. And then this is the Energy Enhancer patches. Now I choose these because there's 2 patches for each application. So you have a tan color patch, and then you have a white color patch. Now in this case, the white goes on the right, the tan goes on the left, and I'll just show you with a little bit of tape here where they go on the points. So remember, you have those points on the back of your neck, right? Gallbladder 20. And what you're going to do is you're going to put the white one on the right gallbladder 20, and then the tan one on the left gallbladder 20. And remember to drink lots of water because the phototherapy works best. So it kind of looks like this. So here is the white one, and here's the tan one. And this is really, really awesome, I have found, to kind of kick out some of those early cold symptoms. The feeling a little bit chilled, feeling stiff neck, a little drippy, a little postnasal drip, a little cough, sore throat. It's like if you can get that right away, it's really handy. And unlike trying to stimulate your acupuncture points by rubbing it, you can just put the patches on and it'll, stimulate for a full 12 hours, right? Instead of like doing this like every couple of minutes. So it's really, really handy. So those are really, really helpful. If you don't have that particular set of Ice Wave patches or Energy Enhancer patches and you only have a single patch, for example, X39, which a lot of people have because it's stem cell enhancing and very, very powerful, you can even just put one on one side. I mean, you could put one on each side as well. Generally speaking, you only have to use one X39 per time, but you can use that patch on any point on the body. So you can put it on the right, you can put it on the left, you can put it on both if you don't have the Ice Wave or the Energy. I like the Ice Wave or Energy Enhancer patches because there is a movement of chi and energy from the white to the tan patch. So there is some circular movement in the meridians, whereas if you put 2 of the same patch on, there's no movement between the 2 patches, but you're still stimulating that point. So theoretically, it can still work. So if you're ready now to do some TOLPAKAN healing, I'm going to run through some directives, and what I'd love for you to do, if you'd like to receive, is to just feel into the body right now. So just kind of focus inwards, feel anything that you feel in your body. Feel the temperature, feel any movement that you have. I feel kind of like an undulating wave. I feel mostly in the upper body, but you could kind of do like a mini scan on the rest of your body, see if you notice that movement. And that gets us into the aligned piece of the TOLPAKAN healing. And then I'm going to go ahead and say out loud the directives. And it's not like you have to do these directives word for word. You can make up your own. It's really about aligning that piece first. And then in this case, we're not doing the ask, which is a before and after. We're doing the next stage, which is the activation. So I'm going to run through the TOLPAKAN Healing Directives. I'd like you to just check in to see how your body feels. Notice the energy flow in your body before and after the directive. And then I'd love for you to post in the comments below this video what it felt like to you and your body after each of these directives. So here we go. We're going to first start with the Wei Qi field. I now command that your Wei Qi field be restored to full 100% radiant health and sovereignty and light in the highest and best way, all directions of time with ease and grace. I now command that all your 5 elements, fire, earth, metal, water, and wood, be fully balanced, and all timelines where you exist were allowed with ease, speed, and grace in the highest and best way. I now command that the pernicious influences, if any, including hidden ones, excess heat, summer heat, damp, cold, wind, dry, and any others we don't know about, be deleted, dissolved, and uncreated in the highest and best way, all directions of time and all timelines where you exist with ease, speed, and grace. I now command all holes filled with the highest vibrations of love and light. Thank you. Okay, so go ahead and feel the body. Post in the comments below how that feels for you. You can do these TOLPAKAN Healing Directives at any time. Like I said, it's helpful if you do a before and after with muscle testing just to make sure that something's happened. Occasionally, when there's no budging and it's not improving, you may need to do further TOLPAKAN inquiries, and that's where the TOLPAKAN Level 1 training is helpful because we have some guides to help you figure out what it is you need to know before the healing will continue. The other thing you can do in case you have an Ascension 3 piece, and we're open only 1 week out of the month, so I apologize if you're watching this video while you're trying to get into ascension3.net. Just keep in mind, if you put your name in on the mailing list, we'll let you know as soon as we open again in the next month. So when you have the Ascension 3, you can just, without necessarily doing a fancy directive, you can just tell it what you want to do. You connect to it. So you make a positive intention with it, and then you say, okay, hey, can you please fortify my Wei Qi field? Thank you. And if you want, you can imagine, a bubble of light or whatever you want to imagine, your Wei Qi field getting healthier. Same thing with your 5 elements, same thing with kicking out pernicious influences. You can just casually talk to your Ascension 3 piece. You just need to connect to it by looking at it or touching it, telling it what to do, giving thanks, and there you go. So some announcements for this week. Number 1, on Monday's Light Warrior Radio Show at 12 noon Eastern, I'll be airing an interview I did with Dr. Jacob Lieberman, and he is really cool. And I met him through one of my TOLPAKAN Healer certification students and now practitioner, Diana, and she told me about him, that he doesn't need to wear glasses anymore. And I thought, wow, that's so exciting. He's an optometrist. He doesn't need to wear glasses anymore. He can see 20/20. And so I had a great conversation with him. This is pre-recorded. And there were some major tips that he gave me, things that I didn't know about. Things about depth perception, how my current prescription for, reading with one eye and seeing far with the other probably is not for the highest and greatest good, and why now I have rolling blinds on my window right there. Yeah, so it was a super interesting conversation. So I hope you join us when we air this on Monday, and I think you'll get a lot out of it. So if you have any visual deficits at all, definitely please listen to the show and share it with anybody else who may be in the same situation. It has certainly changed my life and my habits, and I look forward to reading through some of his other books that he has as well. So the second announcement is that the Amplify Your Impact Retreat is happening next week. It's going to be in North America, Monday through Thursday at 6 to 9:15 p.m. at night. And I would love for you to join me there. You can get a ticket. You can click the link below. And there are two types of tickets. There's a regular and there's a VIP. What's the difference? Well, the VIP ticket actually, you get another separate healing session from my mentor Marcus, who is the creator of the dimensional therapy. And it'll be, a smaller group, and they'll be doing group and individual healings as necessary, basically for us to break out of our old stuff and step into the new. So this Amplify Your Impact Retreat is really designed for people who are ready to step into their next highest vibration and make a difference on the planet through their gifts. So we're talking about entrepreneurs who want to share their gifts, their message, their coaching, their mentoring, their healing with the world, and really don't exactly know where to start. And where it starts is with the heart, and your three brains, if you will. So we're going to be talking about sacred geometry. We're going to be talking about your three different brains and how that influences your vibration, your resonance, your frequency, how that quote unquote attracts, the people that come to you. So instead of business and doing your job, if you will, with a lot of struggle, why not be in a place where you resonantly just attract and manifest with greater ease, speed, and grace? So this is a really, really awesome 4-day event. I actually went to Fiji to study with my mentor years ago, and it was a very long trip, but boy, was I happy I went there. So if you're interested in esoteric stuff like pyramids and sacred geometry and quantum physics and manifesting. Yeah, so this retreat is for you. So I highly recommend you sign up. So I'm going to put the link near this video. And this is my specific link. So Marcus and my mentors know that you came through my link. And I will be there as one of the main support coaches. I'm going to be there all 4 days holding the space and doing some mentoring and coaching if necessary, as people break out of their shells and transform to the next level. So I highly recommend that you check it out. Again, I'll put that link near this video. So the third announcement is that the UWealth Revolution Telesummit is now launching into another season, this fall season. And I'm really, really excited to talk about the 5 healing types. I mentioned these in some other trainings, but I had a lot of people ask me about that and they want to be tested, like what healing type am I, and that kind of thing. So I thought, why not go into more detail around that? So my interview with Darius is on Monday, October 25th at 4 p.m. But please sign up for the Telesummit right now so you get access to all the other amazing talks and interviews coming up, as well as the Bliss Bath gift that you get when you sign up. So go ahead. I'll put the link near this video. Go ahead and sign up right now. And I look forward to doing the interview and having you there. We're going to be doing some group healing, mini healings, and I think you're really going to love it. So thank you for joining me for this week's Spiritual Medicine Digest. Happy autumn. Stay healthy, stay happy, and stay high vibe. Until next time, bye for now.